The first sign something was wrong came during the quarterly board meeting. I was mid-presentation when Marcus, our lead investor, interrupted me. "Peyton, didn't we already discuss these projections last week?" I blinked, gripping my laser pointer. "No, this is the first time I'm presenting these numbers. But I have an email confirmation from you about a private review session last Thursday at 2 p.m. My husband August, sitting at the far end of the conference table, leaned forward. "Honey, remember, you scheduled it right after our lunch with Mom." I hadn't had lunch with anyone that day. I'd been in back-to-back code reviews until 6 p.m. I opened my mouth to say exactly that, but something in August's expression made me pause. His concern looked rehearsed. "I must have forgotten," I said instead, forcing a smile. "Let's continue with the current data. My name is Peyton Ellis, and at 34, I'm the founder and CEO of BridgeSync AI, a company I built from my garage into a $40 million enterprise. That board meeting was 3 months ago. Now, I'm sitting in my home office, staring at my medication bottle, knowing someone has been tampering with my pills. You're not imagining things," Jacqueline says, examining the capsules I've spread across my desk. My best friend since college and now BridgeSync's general counsel. She's the only person I trust completely. "These aren't your regular dosage. Someone's opened them." "August keeps saying I'm working too hard," I tell her, running my fingers through my hair. "His mother, Rosalind, stopped by yesterday, went on about how my father's nervous breakdown must have been hereditary." "Your father was misdiagnosed," Jacqueline snaps, "and he was pushed to suicide by exactly this kind of manipulation." "Peyton, what if they're trying to gaslight you?" The word hits me like a slap. Last week, my calendar showed blank spaces, where I distinctly remembered scheduling client meetings. Important files disappeared from my laptop. My assistant swears I approved vacation days I never discussed. "Watch this," I say, pulling up security footage from our home gym. August enters frame, heading straight for my gym bag. He removes my water bottle, adds something, shakes it. Jacqueline's face hardens. "When did you install the camera?" "After I found meeting memos in the shredder that I never saw before. August claimed I must have shredded them myself during my exhausted state." I laugh bitterly. "He's been pushing me to take a sabbatical." My phone buzzes. A text from August. "Mom's coming for dinner. She's worried about you. Maybe we should discuss taking a break from work." Jacqueline grabs my hand. "Don't confront them yet. We need to understand what they're planning." "Oh, I know what they're planning," I say, pulling up our company bylaws. Section 7.3. In the event of the CEO's incapacitation or mental unfitness, leadership transfers automatically to the COO, my loving husband. The board would never. 3 board members had private meetings with August last week. Meetings I supposedly approved but have no memory of. A knock at my office door makes us both jump. It's Helen, a junior exec I've been mentoring. "Peyton? Sorry to interrupt, but Mrs. Lewis is in the lobby. She's asking about your medical history, specifically about psychiatric care." My hands shake as I open my desk drawer, reaching for my anti-anxiety medication. Then I stop, remembering the tampered capsules. "Tell her I'll be right down," I say calmly. After Helen leaves, Jacqueline grabs my arm. "Don't take any pills they could have accessed. In fact, don't eat or drink anything August or his mother could have touched." I nod, but my mind is already racing ahead. "I need you to do something for me. Check if any documents have been filed under my electronic signature recently." "You think they'd forge?" "I think they'd do anything." I stand up, smoothing my skirt. My father trusted the wrong people and it killed him. I won't make the same mistake. As I head downstairs to face my mother-in-law, I feel the weight of my phone in my pocket, already recording. Let them think I'm unraveling. Let them think their plan is working. I catch my reflection in the hallway mirror and deliberately mess up my hair a bit. Time to give the performance of my life. Peyton, darling! Rosalind's voice carries up the stairs. We're all so worried about you. I touch the phone in my pocket like a talisman and descend the stairs. The game is on, but not the one they think they're playing. The voice recorder was smaller than my thumb. I placed it carefully under the fruit bowl on our kitchen island, the spot where August and his mother had their daily morning coffee when she visited. 2 more went into my home office, one behind the bookshelf, another beneath my desk. Testing, testing, I whispered, then played it back on my phone. Crystal clear. My hands didn't shake anymore when I planted the devices. After 2 weeks of playing the unstable CEO, I'd gotten good at appearing scattered while staying sharp. The recordings were already proving invaluable. She's getting worse, August had said yesterday, not knowing the gym bag he was talking next to contained my newest recorder. The board's concerned about her erratic behaviour. Perfect, Rosalind had replied. I found someone who can help. A psychiatric consultant who understands delicate family situations. I'd nearly blown my cover that morning, wanting to confront them both. Instead, I'd walked into the gym, hair messy, mumbling about missing meetings. The door to my home office opened. I quickly minimised the recording app. Hey, honey. August's concern seemed genuine, if you didn't know better. You missed the executive lunch? Did I? I rubbed my temples. I could have sworn that was tomorrow. It's okay. He massaged my shoulders. I forced myself not to flinch. Maybe you should lie down. My phone buzzed. A text from Jacqueline. Emergency. Come to my office now. I have to go, I said, standing abruptly. Jacqueline needs something. You shouldn't drive when you're like this. August reached for my keys. I laughed, letting it sound slightly hysterical. Like what, August? Crazy? He flinched perfectly. I didn't say that. I'm worried about you. 20 minutes later, I sat in Jacqueline's office, listening to a recording she'd obtained from the board meeting I'd missed. August's voice filled the room. As COO, I'm prepared to step in temporarily. The succession clause is clear. We need to protect the company. And you're certain about her condition? That was Marcus. Once she's on a 72-hour hold, it's over. The transfer of power becomes automatic. I stopped the playback, my blood running cold. They're planning to have me committed. There's more. Jacqueline handed me a paper. Your signature appeared on 3 new policy documents this week. I know you didn't sign them. They're setting the stage. I stood up, pacing, making it look like I'm making irrational decisions. A knock interrupted us. Helen slipped in, closing the door quickly. Sorry, but you need to hear this, she whispered. Mrs. Lewis is in the break room, asking about your prescription history. She told the nurse practitioner it's for insurance purposes. Did the nurse give her anything? No. I interrupted, said we needed medical releases first. Helen hesitated. Peyton, she's also been asking about your father. My father. The brilliant software engineer who trusted his business partner, only to be gradually convinced he was losing his mind. Who died thinking he was crazy. Thank you, Helen. I kept my voice steady. Keep monitoring her, but don't let her know you're suspicious. After Helen left, Jacqueline grabbed my shoulders. We need to move faster. They're building their case while we gather evidence. No, I said, pulling out my phone. Let them build it. Every false document, every manipulated meeting, every concerned conversation, it's all being recorded. But first, I dialed a number I hadn't used in years. Dr. Kelly, this is Peyton Ellis. My father was your patient. I took a deep breath. I need your help. Peyton? Of course. What's wrong? Remember how they convinced my father he was paranoid? It's happening again. But this time we're going to catch them. That evening, I returned home late. August and Rosalind were in the kitchen, right above my recorder. "She's getting worse," August was saying. "The board's ready. We just need the right moment." "The consultant I found will help," Rosalind replied. "He's handled similar cases. She won't see the rubber walls before we've changed the locks." They laughed. I walked in swaying slightly. "Who's there, August?" "In here, honey." His voice switched to concern instantly. "Where have you been? We were worried." "Just working, I think." "Was I working?" I blinked at them, confused. "I'm so tired." "Poor dear," Rosalind cooed. "August, help her to bed. We'll discuss everything tomorrow." As August led me upstairs, I caught Rosalind's satisfied smile. Let them think they're winning. Let them think I'm breaking. The recorder caught their whispers after they thought I was asleep. "Call the consultant. Tell him we're ready." I touched the phone under my pillow, already sending the audio files to Jacqueline's secure server. They wanted to replay my father's tragedy. Instead, they'd written their own. I stood in front of my father's grave, the morning dew soaking through my shoes. 10 years since his death, and the pain still felt fresh. "They said you were paranoid too, Dad," I whispered, placing fresh flowers against the headstone. "Said you were imagining things when you suspected your partner was sabotaging you." "Peyton!" I turned to find Dr. Kelly walking across the cemetery grass. He looked older than I remembered, but his eyes were still sharp. "You always visit him on Thursdays," he said, standing beside me. "Just like your father visited his father. Did you know they ruled his death a suicide because of untreated schizophrenia?" My voice cracked. "But you knew better, didn't you?" I tried telling the investigators that Thomas was being systematically gaslit, that his partner was orchestrating his breakdown to take control of their patents. Dr. Kelly's hands clenched. By the time I gathered enough evidence, it was too late. My phone buzzed. A text from Helen. "Rosalind's in HR again, asking about your sick days from last year. They're using my father's death against me," I said, showing him the message, suggesting mental illness runs in the family. History repeating itself. Dr. Kelly touched my shoulder. "But this time we're ahead of them." Back at the office, I found August's desk empty. "Working late again," his assistant said. "Third time this week." Jacqueline burst into my office minutes later, face pale. "You need to see this." She pulled up a document on her tablet. My signature danced across the bottom, authorizing a transfer of 51% company stake. "It's a draft," she said quickly, "filed under August's private server. They haven't submitted it yet." "The forge is good," I admitted, studying the signature. "They must have practiced." "Peyton," Jacqueline hesitated. "There's something else. August's been meeting someone at the Westbrook Hotel. Room 412. Every night he's working late." I laughed hollowly. "Let me guess. The psychiatric consultant?" "No." She showed me the hotel's security footage. "Rosalind." My stomach turned. Mother and son plotting my downfall over room service. "They're getting sloppy," Helen said from the doorway. We hadn't heard her come in. "Rosalind's asking weird questions about your prescription history. People are noticing." I pulled up the audio files from last night's kitchen recording. August and Rosalind's voices filled the room. "The board meeting's on Tuesday," August was saying, "once the consultant confirms her instability." "I've arranged everything," Rosalind interrupted. "The medical records, the witness statements, even old college roommates willing to discuss her episodes." "All fake," I whispered. "All recorded," Jacqueline corrected. My phone rang. Dr. Kelly. "Peyton, a woman just called my office, said she's a consultant doing a psychiatric evaluation for Bridge Sync's insurance update. Asked about your father's case." "What did you tell her?" "That I'd need signed releases. But, Peyton," he paused, She mentioned having them already. With your signature. More forgeries. More lies. I ended the call and faced Jacqueline and Helen. Tuesday, I said. They're making their move Tuesday. We have enough evidence, Jacqueline insisted. Let me file charges now. No. I stood up, smoothing my skirt. Let them try their intervention. Let them bring their fake consultant and forge documents, because Dr. Kelly will be there too, the real psychiatrist they didn't know about. It's dangerous, Helen protested. What if something goes wrong? Nothing can go wrong, I said, pulling up the audio files. Because everything's already gone right. We have their conversations, their plans, their hotel meetings. We have the forged documents and fake signatures. We have witnesses to Rosalind's digging. And we have you, Jacqueline added, playing the perfect mark. I touched my father's photo on my desk. They think I'm him. They think I'll break like he did. I smiled grimly. But I'm not my father, and they're not as smart as they think they are. That night, I left the office early, making sure to stumble slightly in the lobby. Security cameras caught it all, just as they caught August, slipping into his car 20 minutes later, heading for room 412. At home, I recorded a video diary entry, letting my voice shake just right. I don't know what's real anymore. The meetings I miss, the decisions I don't remember making. Maybe they're right. Maybe I need help. I saved it where August would accidentally find it. Let them think they've won. Let them think Tuesday will be their triumph. They forgot the most important lesson from my father's story. Sometimes the person you're trying to break is actually the one breaking you. You're sure about this? Dr. Kelly asked, studying the plan I'd laid out in his office. Once we start, there's no going back. They're planning an intervention for Tuesday, I said, pacing, complete with their hired consultant and fabricated evidence. I need you there. As the voice of professional reason? He smiled grimly. Like I tried to be for your father. As the trap they won't see coming. I stopped pacing. They'll bring their fake expert, but you'll be the real one, with actual credentials and 30 years of experience. My phone buzzed. A text from August. Working late again. Don't wait up. Room 412, no doubt. Planning my downfall with his mother over minibar drinks. Time to give them what they want, I told Dr. Kelly. A complete psychological breakdown. The next morning, I arrived at work with deliberately mismatched shoes. In the elevator, I muttered to myself just loud enough for others to hear. During the marketing meeting, my hand shook as I poured water, spilling it across the table. Are you okay? Helen asked afterward, playing her part perfectly. Fine, I said too brightly. Just need to finish these reports, all 47 of them. There were only 5 reports due. By lunch, word had spread. I caught concerned glances, heard whispered conversations stop when I walked past. In the bathroom, I messed up my makeup slightly and left my hair uncombed. August called right on cue. Honey, people are worried about you, he said, concern dripping from every word. Maybe you should come home early. Can't. Too busy. The purple elephants need their reports. A pause. I could almost hear him smiling. What elephants, sweetheart? The ones in the conference room. Don't you see them? I hung up, knowing he was probably already calling Rosalind. Right after lunch, I had Helen deliver a stack of papers to the board members, random documents I'd signed with increasingly erratic signatures. Is she in there now? I heard Marcus ask her. Yes, Helen replied, her voice shaking perfectly. She's been talking to the wall for 20 minutes. Back in my office, I pulled up the security feed from August's private conference room. He and Rosalind were there with a man I didn't recognise, probably their hired consultant. I activated the recorder I'd hidden under their table last night. She's deteriorating faster than expected, the man was saying. Tuesday might be too late. Perfect, Rosalind replied. The sooner she's committed, the sooner we can stabilise the company. And what about after? August asked. Once she's in treatment? Rosalind laughed. Once she's in, she won't be making any decisions about anything. The rubber walls will be her new office. I switched off the feed as Jacqueline entered. They're accelerating their timeline, she warned. Board members are gathering for an emergency meeting tomorrow. Good. I showed her my phone, Dr. Kelly's confirmation that he'd cleared his schedule. Let them rush. The faster they move, the sloppier they get. That afternoon, I gave them a show they couldn't resist. During a video call with investors, I suddenly started screaming about invisible spiders. August had to escort me out, his arm around my shoulders as I babbled nonsense. Shh, he soothed, leading me to his office. You're not well, honey. Let us help you. The moment his door closed, I heard him dial Rosalind. It's time, he said. Call everyone. Tomorrow morning, not Tuesday. She's ready. After he drove me home, I waited until he left for his nightly hotel meeting. Then, I called Dr. Kelly. They moved it to tomorrow, I told him. 9 a.m. I'll be there, he promised. The evidence? Jacqueline has everything backed up on 3 separate servers. Helen's collected statements from staff about Rosalind's digging. The recordings are time-stamped and authenticated. And you're ready for your performance? I touched my father's old watch, my lucky charm. I've been practicing my whole life for this role. That night, I left my video diary running loud enough for August to hear when he came home. The shadows are watching me. They know what I did, what I'm going to do. But the elephants will protect me. The purple ones, not the green ones. The green ones lie. I heard him on the phone moments later. Mum, call everyone now. First thing tomorrow. She's completely lost it. After he hung up, I smiled in the darkness of my room. Let them think they're winning. Let them think tomorrow is their victory. They don't know that when you corner someone who has nothing left to lose, you've actually cornered yourself. Tomorrow, they'll learn what real madness looks like. They arrived at 9 a.m. sharp. August, Rosalind, 2 board members, their hired consultant, and what looked like private security. I was sitting in our living room, hair wild, staring at nothing. Peyton? August's voice was gentle. We need to talk. The elephants said you'd come, I whispered, not looking at them. They know everything. Rosalind stepped forward, clutching a folder. Darling, we're here because we love you. We've all noticed changes in your behaviour. The doorbell rang. Right on time. That'll be Dr. Kelly, I said dreamily. The shadows told me he was coming. August stiffened. Who? Dr. Kelly walked in, medical bag in hand. I'm Dr. Forrest Kelly. I was Thomas Ellis's psychiatrist. Peyton called me yesterday, concerned about her mental state. I hid my smile as I watched their faces. This wasn't part of their script. We have our own specialist, Rosalind said sharply, gesturing to their consultant. Dr. Roberts, the man introduced himself, extending his hand to Dr. Kelly. Interesting, Dr. Kelly replied, not taking it, because I know every psychiatric specialist in the state, and I've never heard of you. The room temperature seemed to drop 10 degrees. Shall we begin? I asked, voice quavering. The purple elephants are getting impatient. August sat beside me, taking my hand. Honey, you've been acting erratically, missing meetings, talking to yourself, making strange decisions. We have documentation, Rosalind added, opening her folder. Witness statements, medical records, even incidents from college. All forged, I said clearly, my voice suddenly steady. The room went silent. What? August's hand dropped mine. I stood up, smoothing my hair back. Every document in that folder is forged. Every witness statement is fake. Every medical record is fabricated. She's delusional, their consultant cut in. This paranoia proves... Actually, Dr. Kelly interrupted, I'd say it proves something quite different. He pulled out his phone. Shall we listen to some interesting recordings? I opened my laptop, which had been sitting quietly on the coffee table. Or perhaps we should watch some security footage from room 412 at the Westbrook Hotel. The colour drained from August's face. Better yet, I continued, let's review the forged documents you filed under my signature, the ones transferring company control, or maybe the video of you tampering with my medication. You're sick, Rosalind snapped. You need help. No, Mother, I said, emphasising the title she'd never earned. What I need is for everyone to hear this. I played the recording from their last hotel meeting. Once she's in, she won't be making any decisions about anything. The rubber walls will be her new office. Their hired consultant started backing toward the door. Dr. Roberts, I called out, or should I say Mr. Pete Davidson, former actor and current con man. The medical board would be very interested in your credentials. He bolted. You recorded us, August's voice shook. You've been pretending? Like you pretended to love me? I stood up. Like you pretended to care while plotting to have me committed? Dr. Kelly pulled out his phone. I'm calling hospital security, not for Peyton, for attempted medical fraud and conspiracy. You can't prove anything, Rosalind snarled. Actually, Jacqueline said, walking in with Helen, we can prove everything. Every meeting, every forged document, every manipulated situation, even your attempts to access private medical records. The board members, who'd been silent until now, started edging toward the exit. Don't leave yet, I called after them. You'll want to be here when the police arrive to discuss your roles in this conspiracy. Peyton, August tried one last time, everything I did was for us. No, I cut him off. Everything you did was for you. Because you couldn't stand that I succeeded where you failed. That I built something real while you built nothing but lies. Sirens wailed in the distance, getting closer. You tried to make me my father, I said quietly. Tried to drive me to the same edge that killed him. But you forgot something crucial. What's that? Rosalind demanded, even as police cars pulled up outside. I smiled, cold and clear. I'm not him, and you're not nearly as smart as you think you are. The front door burst open as officers poured in. I watched them read rights, click handcuffs, lead away the architects of my intended destruction. You did it, Dr. Kelly said softly. You got justice for both of you. I touched my father's watch as August and Rosalind were escorted out. No, Dad got justice for himself. I just made sure his story helped me write a different ending. The purple elephants, it turned out, had been right all along. The news broke like a tsunami. By noon, every tech blog and business site had the story. Tech CEO thwarts family's conspiracy to have her committed. I sat in my office watching the chaos unfold on multiple screens. August's corporate credentials had already been deactivated. 2 board members had resigned. Rosalind's social media had gone dark after a flood of angry comments. Look at this, Helen said, showing me her phone. A small YouTuber had somehow gotten hold of one of the hotel recordings. The view count was skyrocketing. My phone buzzed, a text from August. Please, we need to talk. I can explain everything. Don't respond, Jacqueline advised, walking in with a stack of papers. Let him sweat while we file these lawsuits. Any word from their fake doctor? I asked. Pete Davidson was arrested trying to board a flight to Mexico, Helen reported. He's singing like a canary about how Rosalind hired him. Another notification popped up on my screen. An email from a journalist named Dylan Hernandez. My blood ran cold as I read it. What? Jacqueline asked, seeing my expression. I turned my laptop around. Found this in August's email drafts. 3 weeks ago, he pitched me a story about unstable female executives in tech. He was setting up a media hit piece to run after they had me committed. Bastard, Helen whispered. My office door burst open. Marcus, one of the remaining board members, stormed in. This is a disaster, he announced. The stock is dropping. Investors are calling. We need to contain this. Contain what? I stood up slowly. The fact that board members conspired with my husband to have me falsely committed? That you held secret meetings to transfer company control? I didn't know. Really? I played another recording, his voice clearly agreeing to August's succession plan. Want to try again? He left without another word. Within an hour, his resignation letter arrived. 4 down, Jacqueline said, adding it to her file. The rest will follow. My phone kept buzzing with messages from August, each more desperate than the last. Please, let me explain. Everything I did was for us. You're making a mistake. Don't destroy what we built. I blocked his number. Peyton, Helen called from her laptop. You need to see this. A live news feed showed Rosalind outside the police station, surrounded by reporters. She was in full victim mode. My son and I were only trying to help her, she sobbed. She's sick, just like her father was. This proves it. I laughed darkly. She's still trying to play that card. Not for long, Jacqueline said, typing furiously. I just sent the police the recording of her bribing the fake psychiatrist, and her fingerprints are on the tampered medication bottles. My desk phone rang. The front desk. Ms. Ellis, Mr. Lewis is in the lobby, demanding to see you. He's causing a scene. I switched to the lobby security feed. August was there, dishevelled, yelling at security. Let him come up, I said. Are you sure? Helen asked. Very. Minutes later, August burst into my office. Peyton, please. Security, I called calmly. Please record this. He froze, noticing the guards positioning themselves. What's wrong, August? Worried about being recorded? Like all those times you plotted with your mother in room 412? I loved you, he tried. No, I corrected him. You loved what I built. What you failed to build yourself? How many startups did you burn through before marrying me? 5? You're twisting everything. Like you twisted my father's story? Used his tragedy against me? I pulled out a small remote and pressed play. The office speakers came alive with his voice. Once she's locked up, we'll restructure everything. Mum's consultant will make sure she's declared unfit. No one will believe anything she says after that. His face crumpled. I'll fight this. We'll fight this. With what? I asked quietly. Your company access is revoked. Your assets are frozen pending investigation. Even your precious vinyl collection. His head snapped up. What about my records? Check our home security footage from this morning, around 7 a.m, the part where I burned them in the backyard. He lunged forward, but security caught him. You bitch! Those were irreplaceable! Like my father's life? I stood up. Like the years I wasted loving you? Security, please remove Mr. Lewis, and make sure to get his outburst on video. It'll go great with the restraining order paperwork. As they dragged him out, I heard him screaming about revenge, about exposing me, about making me pay. Well, Jacqueline said into the silence that followed, I'd say the Lewis family just destroyed themselves. I looked at my father's photo on my desk. No, they destroyed themselves the moment they thought they could use his death to write my ending. The House of Lewis was falling, and I was just getting started. 3, 2, 1, we're live. The studio lights blazed as Dylan Hernandez, the journalist August had tried to conspire with, adjusted his microphone. Tonight, we have an exclusive interview with Peyton Ellis, the tech CEO whose story has captivated the nation. I sat across from him, poised and professional in a steel grey suit. No signs of the unstable executive August had wanted Dylan to write about. Let's start with the recordings, Dylan said. You knew they were plotting against you? I suspected, I replied. When things started disappearing, files, meetings, memories, I remembered my father's story, how they convinced him he was losing his mind. They, being his business partner? Yes, and now my husband and mother-in-law were using the same playbook. I pulled out my phone. Would you like to hear what plotting my institutionalization sounds like? The studio fell silent as August and Rosalind's voices filled the air, discussing rubber walls and forced commitments, planning my downfall over room service. Jesus, Dylan whispered when it ended, and they had no idea you were recording. They were too busy forging documents and bribing fake doctors to notice the fruit bowl in their meeting spot had a friend underneath. My phone buzzed. A text from Helen. August is trying to hold a press conference. It's not going well. I nodded slightly to the producer, who switched one of the studio monitors to live coverage. August stood at a podium, wild-eyed and ranting. She's manipulating everyone, he shouted. She's the one who's unstable. She burned my records, my irreplaceable vinyl collection. Speaking of manipulation, Dylan turned back to me. Your mother-in-law was arrested this morning for evidence tampering, conspiracy, and attempting to access private medical records. Turns out, hiring a fake psychiatrist is very illegal. The monitor showed August growing more unhinged. Security was approaching the podium. You're all blind, he screamed. She's crazy like her father. The feed cut as they dragged him away. Your husband seems distressed, Dylan observed. Ex-husband, I corrected. The divorce papers were served yesterday, along with restraining orders for both him and his mother. You've been busy. Actually, I've been surprisingly productive since I stopped being drugged and gaslit, the studio crew murmured. Dylan leaned forward. They were drugging you? I played another recording. August tampering with my water bottle, laughing with Rosalind about dosage. The toxicology reports are part of the criminal investigation, I said calmly, along with the forged documents, the bribed consultant, and the conspiracy evidence. Why do this interview? Dylan asked. Why not just let the courts handle it? Because somewhere, someone else is being gaslit, being told they're crazy when they're actually being targeted, being manipulated by people who claim to love them. I looked directly into the camera. This story isn't just about me. My phone lit up with messages. The interview was going viral in real time. Hashtags were trending. August's meltdown was everywhere. One last question, Dylan said. Your company's board has mostly resigned. What's next for BridgeSync? A restructure. No more board to manipulate. No more power plays. I smiled. Just innovation and growth, the way my father would have wanted. After the interview, I found Jacqueline waiting in the green room. Rosalind's lawyer called, she said. They want to make a deal. No deals. I checked my phone. August's public meltdown had already spawned dozens of memes. Let them face every charge. They're saying they'll reveal company secrets. What secrets? How we're profitable, how we treat employees well, how we don't need men like August to succeed. A producer rushed in. Ms. Ellis, every major network wants to run your story. And that YouTuber's video of the hotel recordings just hit 5 million views. I thought of August and Rosalind, watching their empire crumble from separate jail cells. Thought of my father, who never got to see his name cleared. Book them all, I told the producer. Every network, every platform. Let's make sure this story reaches everyone who needs to hear it. My phone buzzed one last time. A message from Dr. Kelly. Thomas would be proud. You didn't just survive their game. You changed the rules. I touched my father's watch and stepped back into the studio lights. August had wanted to make me a cautionary tale about unstable women in tech. Instead, he and his mother had become a warning about what happens when you underestimate the person you're trying to destroy. The cameras rolled. Time to tell my story. Again and again, until every would-be gaslighter thought twice about lighting that match. The courtroom fell silent as the judge prepared to deliver the verdict. August sat with his expensive legal team, still trying to look confident. Rosalind wasn't present. She'd already accepted a plea deal, turning on her son in exchange for a lighter sentence. In the matter of corporate conspiracy and attempted medical fraud, the judge began, this court finds the defendant guilty on all counts. I watched August's facade crack as the judge continued listing charges. Evidence tampering, forgery, conspiracy to commit fraud. Each guilty verdict hit like a hammer blow. Your Honour, August's lawyer jumped up. We request leniency, considering my client's previous clean record. Previous clean record? I stood, my voice carrying across the courtroom. May I speak? The judge nodded. The defendant's clean record includes 5 failed startups where investors' money mysteriously vanished. He avoided charges by having his mother pay settlements. I pulled out a folder. I have the documentation here. August lunged forward. You vindictive... Sit down, Mr. Lewis. The judge snapped. Ms. Ellis, continue. He tried to destroy me like those companies. But this time, someone was watching. Someone was recording. Someone fought back. The sentence came down hard. 8 years, no possibility of early release. As they led August away, he turned to me one last time. I did love you. No, I replied. You loved what you thought you could take from me. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. Dr. Kelly appeared at my side, shielding me from the chaos. Your father's case has been reopened, he said quietly. The evidence from your trial exposed his partner's similar tactics. They're posthumously clearing his name. I gripped his arm, steadying myself. He knew he wasn't crazy. In the end, he knew. And now everyone else knows too. Back at BridgeSync, I found Helen organising a company-wide meeting. The remaining employees filled the conference room, uncertain but hopeful. The old board is gone, I announced. The old power structure is gone. From now on, we run this company as a team. Transparent, accountable, and strong. Jacqueline stepped forward. We're implementing new corporate governance policies, no more hidden meetings, no more backdoor deals, and no more gaslighting, Helen added, drawing applause. My phone buzzed. A news alert. Rosalind's sentencing was complete. 5 years plus mandatory psychiatric evaluation. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Ms. Ellis? A young developer raised her hand. There's something you should see. She pulled up a website. Thousands of stories from people sharing their own experiences with gaslighting and manipulation. Each one referenced my case, my fight back. You started a movement, Jacqueline said softly. I thought of August in his prison jumpsuit, of Rosalind facing her own psychiatric evaluation, of my father's name finally being cleared. No, I replied. We ended one. That evening, I visited my father's grave one last time before the headstone would be updated to remove the stigma of suicide. We did it, Dad, I whispered. We showed them what happens when they try to write our stories for us. A woman approached hesitantly, holding a note. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I had to thank you. Your story gave me courage. I left my gaslighting husband last week. She handed me the note. Inside were similar messages from others, each one a story of escape, of fighting back, of refusing to be erased. Dr. Kelly found me there at sunset, reading the letters. Ready for tomorrow? He asked. I nodded. We transformed his small practice into the Centre for Psychological Abuse Prevention. Tomorrow was the grand opening. August's vinyl collection really was irreplaceable, I mused. But so was my sanity. So was my father's life. So are all the lives they try to break. My phone lit up with a final news alert. August's appeal had been denied. The last desperate attempt to rewrite history had failed. I touched my father's watch one last time before leaving the cemetery. The gaslights had finally gone out. In their place burned something stronger: truth, justice, and the fire of thousands of voices saying, "Never again." The sun set on the old story as I walked away. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new battles, new victories. But tonight, in the growing darkness, not a single gaslighting flame remained lit. They had tried to make me doubt my mind. Instead, I'd made them face their crimes. They had tried to write my ending. Instead, I'd written their final chapter. And somewhere, in thousands of homes, people were reading our story and finding their own strength to fight back, to speak up, to reclaim their truth. That was the real victory. That was the real ending. That was justice.